Welcome to Module 1 of Records Management 101 for University of Illinois employees. In this module, we will be asking, what is a record? And covering some basic records management questions.
We know that the records in your office can be overwhelming, especially if you're not sure what they are or how long to keep them. Our goal throughout this course is to empower you to take control of your records. We're going to first learn how to identify records and what makes them so important.
Our Module 1 learning objectives are:
University records should be treated as state records.
records support and document business functions of your office or college.
Records can come in any format.
The difference between records and non-records.
And finally, an overview of the life cycle of a record. What is a record? By law, any document in any format that is created or received in the transaction of public business is a record. This definition is purposefully broad to cover many different types of documents, so let's unpack it together.
As a land-grant university, the records that we create and receive that support the functionings of the university are subject to the same laws and rules as state records. In the next few modules, we will be learning about the rules dictating their care and ultimate disposal. But first, let's talk again about identifying the records in your office. Let's think about some examples of common records found in many university departments.
Employment applications,
PhD theses or dissertations,
personnel evaluations,
budget reports,
vendor files,
promotion or tenure applications and files. These are just a few examples of the records you might have in your office, and we'll go into how to identify records a little bit later. It's important to remember that records can come in any format. Traditionally, we might think of simple paper files like reports and contracts, but the truth is, records are increasingly digital.
This means that email, database information, and website content can be considered state records if they support functions of public business.
There are certain kinds of documents that are considered to be non-records by the state of Illinois. These include duplicate copies of records, draft versions of documents, reference or library materials, and transitory information.
Transitory information is any information that is of only fleeting value, like emails exchanged to set up a meeting time, or reminders to sign up for a charity event. It's true that not everything that you create and receive is going to be considered a state record. So let's talk about what exactly qualifies as public business, and in turn, what makes a record. We want to ask ourselves, what is the purpose of records?
Answering this question starts with asking what your job function is, and then expands out to what your office's function at the university is. And then ultimately to answering the question, what is the university's function within the state of Illinois? The primary role of records is to document decisions and transactions that support various university functions, from onboarding new employees to helping students register for the right courses that will help them succeed.
Records support functions like daily business transactions, compliance with legislative requirements, service delivery, risk management, and documentation of research or other university-sponsored activities.
The university is a large system with a lot of varied functions, so records across colleges and offices will look different. At the end of the day, any document or information that is recorded to support your job and the activities of your office should be considered a state record.
Let's wrap up by talking briefly about the life cycle of a record. This can sound intimidating, but when we talk about the life cycle of a record, we are talking about the various stages associated with the creation, management, and use of information specific to a business function. Most records typically have 4 common stages: creation or receipt, active use, inactive storage, and final disposition of the record.
Getting to know how specific records in your office move through their life cycle will help you better organize the files you have, store them efficiently, and ultimately have a timely disposition schedule that keeps your office from being buried under records that are no longer relevant to the business needs of your office. Okay, let's quickly recap everything that you've learned in Module 1.
University records should be treated as state records.
Records support and document business functions of your office or college.
Records can come in any format.
The difference between records and non-records.
And finally, an overview of the life cycle of a record. You have completed Module 1 of Records Management 101 for University of Illinois employees. Please proceed to Module 2, Retention Basics, or visit our training page for additional resources.
Any links or supporting help guides mentioned in this video will be linked on our training homepage for this course under Additional Resources. If you have any further questions or need assistance, you can contact the Records and Information Management Services Group at rimsgroup@uillinois.edu.